Today we're talking about 5 very different ranges. We got La Cornue, Lacanche, Aga, Wolf, and BlueStar.
There we go. That's
Wow.
all of them. Perfect.
Man, we got 5 very different ranges here. Let's start with La Cornue. We're not going to talk about Cornue, just La Cornue. Okay.
Yep, the Chateaus, yep.
La Cornue Château, I think, is really probably the most elegant product I sell. That doesn't mean it's right for you. It's certainly the most expensive product. But the nice thing about it is totally customizable, right? You could pick anything you want to top. Induction, I think they have wok burners. They've got
French
tops, double burners, grills, griddles. They have, if you go with the bigger ones, you can get a gas and electric oven, which is something you can't do with any American. The beauty behind that is you can bake and you can roast and broil. Roast and broil in the gas, bake in the electric. And the finish is different. They make a big deal of Finnish metal, that they get the metal from Finland because it's supposed to be that much better. I don't know about that, but it's the finish on this versus, say, a Lacanche, even a BlueStar that's got 1,000 finishes, it's way more elegant. This is like a piece of furniture you put in your kitchen, but you're going to pay for it. This is 3 times more expensive than a Wolf.
Yeah.
Last time I calculated,
Right.
probably even more after tariffs. Yeah. So that's the good and the bad. What do you think?
So it's really cool. And one of the things in their ovens as well is what they really one of their claims is also that vaulted oven. So their oven is kind of that shaped vaulted oven that gives you a natural convection. So the air just kind of naturally circulates for that even temperature. So from not only from, a piece of furniture and unbelievable looking, it really truly is a great cooking environment as well. And like you said, it's really nice to have the option on those larger ranges to have the electric and the gas. Kind of gives you the best of both worlds there. Really, you could do almost anything you can imagine in this. You can create it. But of course, I mean, you could be spending 50, 60, 70, more than $100,000 depending on exactly what you're doing.
And they can customize anything. They, we had a sales rep that went there and they said they made a carbon fiber front for an F1 driver. Yeah. So this is really custom. Everything else we're pretty much talking about, Lacanche may be the exception, is built in a factory. This is like, okay, they got Fran's order, now they're going to make it. Exactly. Whereas Wolf is just churning them out on a factory production floor. So really very customized the way you want it to look and the way you cook.
What do you think for a ranking?
Oh, man. I think yes in terms of customization, but really value, you got to say an A.
Yeah, it's absolutely a unique customer. I would say it's, you certainly could be comparing this to maybe, a different pro range, but a lot of times, this is absolutely a unique piece that stands on its own. So hard to compare sometimes to others because it is so unique. An S, definitely as far as what it is, but yeah, value, yeah, certainly not there. How about Lacanche?
This is a very interesting range. We don't sell it, but I like it. You got the warming cabinets. Yep. Right? You can customize it somewhere on the top. You get that French country look. It's made in France. I don't think that the level of manufacturing is the same as a La Cornue, but it's way cheaper. It's half the price of a La Cornue. And you get some customization on the top. You have gas or electric combinations, and you do get the larger ranges. Now, the one problem with Lacanche, and we were visiting the Nantucket store, and somebody called in looking for Lacanche repair, and we service what we sell, and we don't want to send somebody out on a Lacanche when we don't really know anything about it. So how it's fixed remains a mystery to us because we won't fix it. We can at least refer people to the people that can, and that's a big mystery for me. And that's a real problem. I really like this range. I don't know about the repairability and how it gets fixed, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. It's a beautiful range, but you're still spending a lot of money, and it's not very widely sold, and it's certainly not very widely repaired. And a lot of times, like we've certainly heard stories or read things online about Lacanche owners that have had a really difficult time with service, parts maybe being sent to them and then trying to find the dealer. It's probably not the experience you want to go through when you're still spending a lot of money on a range.
But for a value, this is a good range.
Yep. What do you think for a ranking?
What do you think?
I'd say a B overall.
I'd say B. It's a better value. It's certainly La Cornue's a better range, but it's more expensive. This on the value side, I'd give it a B. If it's got good service in your area, that might go up. Yeah, right.
Let's talk Aga next, which English range, certainly a great value.
English range, owned by an American company, French styled. Now, way back when in the 80s, we were selling this, maybe even the 90s, we're selling this range with the heater in it. Right? Yeah. Because it was designed by a blind inventor from England with a house in northern England. So it was a supplement heater. The only thing was always on,
Right, the cookers, yeah.
which presents a certain problem in the season we call summer, right? But the new ones that we sell are kind of like, really, I would say kind of like Lacanche, kind of inexpensive French country look with a lot of customization for color and no customization on the top. So for value, this is actually our least expensive 48-inch induction, right? At what, 11, 12 grand? So from a value standpoint, it's an A. Functionality, I would say it's a B, because you're not going to get gas and electric. It might be good because you get the swing doors and you get the broiler, which for my mom would be great because she broiled everything. But for most people, functionality-wise, it's something you got to see before you buy.
Yeah, certainly I'd say also maybe a little bit of a smaller, shallower depth, kind of that European style. So certainly not as large if you're comparing it to other 48-inch induction ranges or gas ranges or anything like that. It's certainly going to be a smaller oven, but a great value, I would say, for someone that's looking to get kind of that statement piece in their kitchen. Unique, like you said, with the side swing door. I really like the slide out broiler on the top left there. It's really cool. Kind of just something different that you're not going to find really with anything else that we have on the market there. So I agree there. Kind of, again, unique, great value. I'd probably say maybe a low A, because I do think it's a really good value. High B, low A.
I respect your opinion, but I give it a B, because you're not going to get the functionality. And for a lot of people, you're going to look at those smaller ovens and say, I can't do them, but maybe you can.
Yeah.
So it really depends on you.
Yeah, certainly no controls. You're not going to get guided cooking or anything like that. And certainly you wouldn't on the Cornue Lacanche either. But now we'll talk about one that you will get those sort of things. Let's talk about Wolf.
Well, we ship from like no controls to unbelievable amounts of controls. I think the dual fuel Wolf is probably the best range we sell. First of all, in their pro range, you get the most configurations. You can do French top. You can do infrared grill, so it actually works and it's easier to clean. You get a griddle that works really well. You get endless amounts of options. You get burners that are hot, different output. You get really one of the best simmers at 340 degrees.
Absolutely.
You know, the ovens are the best. I think you get twin convection with the extended elements. So it's really the most even. And the Wolf Gourmet makes it easy. You hit chicken, what kind of chicken, how you want the chicken cooked. It gives you the time, temperature, and rack position. It just doesn't get simpler than that. And really the best part about Wolf, which you can't say about anything else, is these guys keep parts forever, right? Sub-Zero, the parent company, will keep parts for as long as those refrigerators are out there. They've owned Wolf since 2000, get parts back there from 2000. That makes it a unicorn in this industry.
Yeah, and it's hard to argue against the Wolf dual fuel range. They have them in both induction and gas, up to 48 inches now in both. The Wolf Gourmet is really probably one of, if not the best kind of guided cooking system that's really out there. Their induction as well. So you talk about the gas, and the gas is great. The simmer, really, that you can simmer on all burners with their dual stack. But the induction is a really great induction, easy to use induction controls as well, I would say. I love their convection system. And one thing I always point out in their convection too, it gives you a little bit of a deeper oven, because as opposed, like you said, as opposed to fans in the back, they're more on the side, kind of top to bottom. So it gives you a little bit more space there too. What do you think ranking?
Well, we didn't talk about all gas. Their all gas really hasn't changed since they bought it in 2000. I would give it an S for dual fuel. I'd give it a B for the all gas.
I agree.
So
yeah, certainly not anywhere near as powerful as far as the burners go. No guided cooking there. It definitely could use an upgrade for sure. Next one is BlueStar.
BlueStar is kind of like Wolf in reverse. You're going to get the configurations, although their gas burner is not infrared. You get 1,000 colors, 6 different trims to make it unique. You get the most power at 25,000 BTU output. On the induction side, it's 7,400 watts. This is a really good range. Family owned, just like Wolf. It's like a more powerful Wolf without the technology.
Yeah, and really even in their dual fuel and induction, very minimal controls that you get there. Very unique when you look at their induction compared to the others. So really most other inductions, really all other inductions for the most part, are kind of that glossy top more so, whereas Wolf now has that kind of matted induction finish to resist scratching. If you're sliding a pan on there, really does a nice job overall, and is really unique. I would also say in their dual fuel, their burners are a little different too.
Yeah,
they have that
steel
S8 burner. Yeah, and it's kind of, it's similar to a Thermador as far as that star burner. They call it their S8, but you're really going to get a lot of control kind of on the outside and the inside of the pan there as well. So very unique there too.
What do you think?
I'd say probably an A overall.
Yeah,
with BlueStar.
I really like this range, and it's totally different. Really depends. So that's it for this unusual comparison. If you like these unusual comparisons, hit the like and subscribe button, and thanks for watching.